21st century was a time of scientific advancement, technological innovation, and political stabilization. After the Cold War, there was a collective desire for peace, and the technological advancements made in the 20th century will pave the way to a brighter future. In the first few years, the advancement of technology truly began to accelerate. By 2016, the speed of supercomputers had reached 100 petaflops, which was hundreds of times faster than it was at the start of the century. The number of self-driving cars began to steadily increase, and the standard household computer got faster and more powerful. At the start of the 2020s, interest in space travel grew larger. In response, the American government granted a much higher budget to NASA, and privately owned space companies began to develop. Automation on farms and in factories began to skyrocket as it became more efficient and cheaper than a human workforce. At the same time, unemployment rates increased quickly. New orbital space stations began construction, and experimental fusion reactors were tested. Privacy died by 2027. Both personal and government computers could now read each other's files. You could connect to government satellites and plan a faster way to work, or look at your friends' emails and calendar to see when they are free. There was some protest against this, but after a few years, people realized efficiency and information at the cost of privacy was a fair trade. By the 2030s, cancer survival rates approached 100%, and as the population reached 9 billion, many countries employed the one-child policy in an attempt to curb the massive population growth. Humanity needed to expand, so preparations for colonies on other planets had begun, and 2 manned missions to Phobos and Mars were launched by 2039. By the 2040s, a lunar base had been established for research, resource mining, and space to house the expanding population. Major developments have been made to artificial intelligences, leading to their widespread incorporation into everyday life. A space elevator was completed, which greatly reduced the cost of sending small payloads into orbit, which aided the development of further lunar and Martian colonies. During the 2060s, antimatter engines were created and used as a far better means of propulsion. The success of the lunar bases economically forced many people to migrate in hopes of finding employment. The population of the lunar bases exceeded 10 million at this time as well. Fusion power was perfected and was used as a common source of energy. In the 2070s, despite the innovations in energy production, the increasing speed and power of computers and technology required a greater amount than was being produced. Therefore, the construction of a Dyson sphere was commenced. It was at this time when self-aware artificial intelligence was successfully developed and, after extensive testing, was used to improve the sustainability of humanity. By the 2080s, the ozone layer had almost completely recovered from the extensive use of fossil fuels at the start of the 21st century. Aging had been slowed, and now the average life expectancy reached 150. The population was now at a sustainable level, and preparations for manned missions to Jupiter had begun. Finally, during the 2090s, a signal from what was confirmed to be intelligent extraterrestrial life was received, and the idea that we are not alone in the universe was confirmed.